The Chicago Bears have just made what I'm going to call is a pretty shocking signing by adding kicker Jake Moody to the practice squad. We're going to break it all down here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Jake Moody, recently released by the 49ers after week one, returns close to where he played his college ball, which of course was for the University of Michigan. He has been added to the Bears practice squad. Full breakdown on this move, what it means for Cairo Santos, and I think a deeper sign of really what this is all about, not just for the kicker position specifically, but for this football team moving forward. So a lot of different angles coming your way here on Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are bringing you guys content every single day here on the show. When news breaks, whether I'm in the office or whether we are at home, we are bringing it to you. So hit that subscribe button. We are on the chase for 130,000 subscribers. We're at 129 for something. So we would appreciate it. Breaking news, we bring videos. Okay, Jake Moody, welcome to Chicago. Look, this thing was a roller coaster for San Francisco. Number one, the biggest lesson here with Jake Moody and any kicker was don't draft a kicker in the third round. If you're going to draft one, it should be no earlier than the sixth round because he gets drafted by San Francisco and the expectations are sky high and he just can't live up to them. Now, his rookie year, he was pretty good, 21 of 25, only missed one extra point, had a big field goal in the Super Bowl, also missed an extra point in the Super Bowl in which they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime. But then last year, things started to unravel. 24 of 34, which is just over 70%. Missed just one extra point. And then in the preseason, he was kind of up, he was down, he was up, he was down. And then in the season opener, he doinked from 27, had a 36-yarder blocked. I think that was a protection breakdown, and then made another kick. But Kyle Shanahan finally had enough. And cut bait here. So why are the Bears signing him? That is the question here. Well, I think it's simple, and I know a lot of you guys are happy about this move, and I'm not unhappy about it, but Cairo Santos didn't have a good season opener, and let's face it, as accurate and as steady as Cairo Santos has been, he does give you limitations. You can't extend your range in terms of attempting field goals with him because the longest he can really attempt is like 55, 56, and even those are dicey. And we saw in the opener, he kicked two field goals. One barely snuck in. The other one from 50, he pushed to the right. And also at the end of the game, now this is on Ben Johnson and Richard Hightower, he couldn't get the ball out of the end zone when they needed him to do so to give yourself a chance to win that game. Now, again, that's more on Ben Johnson and Hightower for not recognizing that was a long shot with his lack of leg strength, and they came back the next week and Ben said he should have ordered him to kick it out of bounds. I agree with that. That would have been the right call. But I think the bigger storyline here is that, listen, Cairo's been a solid kicker for this team. He's made a lot of kicks, but you also haven't been able to attempt certain kicks because he just doesn't have that strong of a leg. That is the bottom line. Inside 50, he's been pretty steady. Even last year, Cairo was 8 for 9 from 50 plus, but you're not trying 58, 59 yarders like a lot of these other teams are. Jake Moody, the one thing he does bring to the table is a very strong leg. So with the fresh scenery, that kind of old adage, he just needs a new scenery, whatever you want to call it. Could he hit the reset button and get back on track in his career? And who knows, replace Cairo Santos? Obviously, that's not going to happen this week. I think this is more of a, hey, this guy has a strong leg, former third-round pick. Let's get him onto the practice squad to A, put some pressure on Cairo Santos, and B, let's see if we can work with him mechanically, get his mentals back on track, because clearly it had become mental, and see if he can hit the reset button here. We saw this with Daniel Carlson. I forget where he was. Might have been Minnesota, actually, before the Raiders. He gets cut, I think, by the Vikings. I'd have to double check. Goes to the Raiders. Huge leg. Is now become one of the best kickers in the league. So maybe they strike lightning here, and that happens twice. So I'm certainly rooting for it. Listen, nothing against Cairo Santos. I've defended the guy an ideal scenario here is Jake Moody becomes this team kicker because he becomes steady again and becomes an accurate kicker, and just provides much more value with his ability to extend range. And, once you're, past the 45, close to the 40-yard line, you're like in field goal range, whereas now you're really not until you get to about the 35. So certainly an interesting move. We're going to continue to break it all down here on Chicago Bears Now. But first, want to tell you guys about today's show sponsor. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but winning with Prize Picks can get you paid. Be sure to check out the Prize Picks app today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Don't miss any of the excitement this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is back. It's better than ever, and I'm launching Prize Picks lineups every single day. It's the best daily fantasy sports app out there. This week, they've got a max discount on Travis Kelce. You just take more than half a receiving yard on the Chiefs tight end. I've paired that with Caleb Williams, more than half a touchdown pass, which is a goblin pick, which is easier to hit, smaller payout, but $20 entry to win $40. Travis Kelce, unless he doesn't catch a ball, you're going to get that one, and then Caleb only has to throw one touchdown, so I like that lineup. 2 to 6 player lineups, you choose more or less on the stat projections available. Certain lineups, you can win up to 2,000 times your money with Prize Picks. That's right, you can turn $10 into $20,000. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups once you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Check that link in the comments and description. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. All right, so Jake Moody's on board. We'll see what a potential timeline would be. Again, he would have to show a lot in these practices, and Cairo would probably have to continue to struggle. But I like the Bears applying a little pressure here, because let's face it, they lost that game for a lot of reasons in week 1 against Minnesota, but kicker was one of them. Will Reichard, the Vikings kicker, made a 59-yarder at the end of the half. That's a kick you can't even attempt with Cairo Santos. Cairo Santos missed a 50-yarder. That is a 6-point swing. You have to at least make that 50-yarder if you're Cairo. And the fact that you can't attempt that 59-yarder like the Vikings could, it's a huge swing in the game. It makes a big, big difference. And not only did you cost yourself 3 points by missing that 50-yarder, the momentum had completely flipped in that game. Even after the Darnell Wright hold, which was bogus, we all know that, probably cost you a touchdown. At least if you knock that field goal in, it calms the waters a little bit. You're up 20-6 early fourth quarter. At worst, you're probably going to overtime in that scenario. So I'm all for this move. Again, am I super confident Jake Moody's going to be this team's kicker? Probably not. He was not very accurate with San Francisco. Even in college at Michigan, his junior year, he was very accurate, but his last year, 82.9%, 29 of 35. That's like league average. He's got a big leg, but, every time he'd go up there for the 49ers, you're like kind of praying it goes in. His junior year at Michigan, he was 23 of 25. His freshman year, he was 10 for 11. His sophomore year, he was 6 for 9. Junior year in the COVID season, 1 for 4. So kind of all over the place as a kicker. He's kind of a confidence kicker. When he's really rolling, he's banging those long kicks through, but recently that has not been the case. So you just hope with the change of scenery and a little pressure on Cairo that at least one of these guys you feel steady about moving forward. It would be great if it became Jake Moody. Like I said, can't say I'm super confident, but the last thing I will say here is, doesn't this feel like a Ben Johnson move? I'm not sure Ryan Poles does this on his own. Ryan Poles extended Cairo Santos either last year or the year before last. And again, Cairo's been solid. I think he gets a bad rap because he doesn't have a very strong leg, but he's been pretty steady. But in today's NFL, you got to have guys who can attempt close to 60-yard field goals, especially situationally. Certain guys, you trust them to attempt those like within the flow of the game. It's not even an option for the Bears because Cairo just doesn't have that leg. This feels like a Ben Johnson move. Like, hey, this guy kind of hurt us in the opener. We're going to try to get better at as many positions as possible. Let's bring in Jake Moody. Let's apply some pressure and see what happens. Let's kind of ramp up the competition here. Because remember, the Bears had Jonathan Kim in training camp for the first couple of weeks and then cut him loose. So it wasn't really a competition with Cairo Santos. Jake Moody, say what you want about him. He was a former third-round pick, which was egregious, but he would have been drafted, and he has some accolades. So I'm fascinated by this move. It's pretty shocking. I did not expect to see this headline here on a Friday, but here we are nonetheless, as Jake Moody is now on the Chicago Bears practice squad. All right, what do you guys make of the move? Do you like it? Yes. If you don't, type in for no. Y for yes, in for no. And also, would you please go check out our Bears-Lions preview? We put out that video just over an hour ago on the channel. So we'll pin that video link to the comment section of this video. And if you subscribe and go to the video content tab, you will be able to find it right there. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome to Chicago, Jake Moody. Hit that subscribe button, and we will see you guys soon here on Chicago Bears Now.